Hello, everyone. I'm Richard Weil, and I'm the principal and owner of National Restaurant Consultants, and we welcome you into the NRC Helpful Moment number 146. We trust you had a good Thanksgiving holiday with your staff or with your guests or whatever works. Be sure that you had a good, enjoyable, and safe holiday last week. We were dark last week. I played hooky 2 weeks ago. Brian took the realm. I was a little bit tied up, and it was great. Appreciate you doing that, Brian. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And as always, we welcome in Brian Devine from Cafe Fuel and Top Line Management. I can tell you that it's a beautiful 68 degrees here in the Denver, Colorado area today. And we have our Vice President, Jared Flowers, all the way from Gilbert, Arizona. What's the temperature down there today on this beautiful first day of December?
72 degrees.
Well, a whole lot warmer than Denver, but we're going to get back to normal starting tomorrow. We're probably supposedly we're going to get our first larger snowstorm next week. We've got 2 chances next week. So we're certainly waiting for snow to come up this way. And I know our ski areas and all of our clients in the resort areas, certainly whether it's Flagstaff, Park City, Colorado, out in the west, we could all use the snow. So that's a good thing. So welcome again, everybody. Today is a great topic. Jared came up with it. And as I said, Jared's our vice president at National Restaurant Consultants. What did you have?
It was an epiphany.
That's right. You said it's an epiphany. And the epiphany is since COVID, and I'm going to lead into it for Jared. When COVID hit in March of 2020, we all relied on technology, and Lord knows on the NRC Helpful Moment, we spent hours on cashless, touchless, online menu ordering, third-party delivery, takeout, and we reached all up, sideways, down. You talk about it on technology in order to stay relevant and at the top of the mind of our consumer. But I think Jared's going to talk a little bit about something. It's something in our logo at National Restaurant Consultants. It's called the pineapple. And the pineapple is the universal symbol of hospitality. Take it away, Jared.
Thanks, Richard. Technology, just like Richard said, has really changed the game and allowed us to do things faster, cleaner, easier with less staff. Clearly saves money. But it just allows us to be better at what we do. Brian talks about at the end of every one of these helpful moments, how we can reach our consumer faster, easier, better. All of this is true. But one of the things that I have noticed, even with some of our clients and with restaurants in general that I go to with my family, is we can't forget that the guest is the reason why we're here. And when we keep our nose buried into an iPad or a handheld point of sale machine, and we don't make eye contact with our guests, we're really missing an excellent opportunity to capture that regular guest and really make them a loyal guest. So while the technology is certainly something we need and something that certainly makes us better and more efficient at what we do, we can't lose focus that the guest is really why we're there. So, if you have a manager whose sole job is to carry the iPad and check tables for open table or check TVs to make sure we're in the right place, let's don't forget we should maybe have another floater or somebody on the floor who's really connecting with that guest, and they don't just feel like they're another body in the room. That's really it. I mean, I think if you make that concentrated focus to look at our guests in the eyes and talk to them and get your head out of the iPad. Again, I think the iPad is necessary, and the earpiece.
And the earpiece.
If I'm at a table, or if a manager is at my table talking to me, and I can tell that the host is calling them up to the host stand, there's a disconnect. So we really just have to be intentional about speaking to our guests and connecting with our guests while using the technology that is making us better.
I think when you mentioned this the other day to me and we talked about the NRC Helpful Moment, it is, we call them table touches, right? The table touches will backfire, and that's to your point. If you're not honest and earnest and genuine, heartfelt, it actually does damage, I think. Don't you think, Jared?
100%. If I'm talking to a guest and at any point during that conversation, I look down at that iPad or put my finger to my ear, it was a waste of time. The guest feels slighted. They don't feel like you said, I'm not being earnest. I'm not being honest. They're just another body. So it really does have to be sincere. And I think that's what made us as an industry so great for so long. We were the industry of fun. We talked about early on when we started these helpful moments. We can't be the industry of the iPad. While necessary and important, we need to get back to fun and connection.
That's a great point. And Brian, good pivot, because connection is what Cafe Fuel is all about. There's a good pivot point. So Brian?
Yeah. Well, thank you. And Jared, I couldn't agree more. I think that utilizing all the technology and the materials that we have access to enhance the experience is what it's all about, not to replace. Right. So that's really the key. And so there's something that I think I've brought up before, but there is a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini. And if you are in the restaurant industry and have not read it, read it. It is fantastic. Not only does it teach you about marketing and influence, but there's an entire section on the book about the very significant study that shows exactly how to increase tips, how to engage with restaurant customers. It was one of the early books that I read when I got involved in marketing. I still read it every once in a while just to get kind of back up to speed, because it's one of the few books that is based on the science, not the guess. And that is really what we're talking about here, is how do you connect with someone? And what this book is really amazing about is that it shows you not only how to connect, but how to connect well, efficiently, and have that increase the average order size and increase tips. So I highly recommend it. Next time I'll make sure I have it like next to me. I can see it right over there, but I'll make sure you know what it looks like and you can grab a copy. It's an outstanding book. And if you need help finding that section, I'll tell you exactly where it is. But I want to make sure we talked about that.
That's outstanding. And my mentor in this industry, besides my father, was a professor of mine from college by the name of Don Smith. And unfortunately, we lost Coach Smith about 5 years ago. But he taught me and has taught thousands about the importance of that human touch. And that's look at me, smile at me, talk to me, and thank me. Look at me, smile at me, talk to me, thank me. And I think if you think about Jared's message and you think about Brian's message, it is about those four things. Look at me. That's what the guests want. They want you to look at them. They want you to smile at them, that hospitality smile. They want you to talk to me. Look at me, smile at me, talk to me, and thank me. Look at me, smile at me, talk to me, thank me. And that's really what this helpful moment's all about, is to remember those things. That's all we have for today. It's the NRC Helpful Moment number 146. We wish you all good health, good safety, and good success. So long for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye for now, everyone.